Hello, I have the tea and chocolate out because this is going to be a very cozy one. Um, and what it is, sorry, I just put the tea away. I have no room for it. Oh yeah, what it is designing stickers. And I thought you might be interested in it because I've made a bullet journal out of the prints that I did, and I just uploaded a video yesterday, like showing you the process of making those prints as well as some other parts of the project. The project had grown, and I ended up doing a bullet journal style notebook as well. And then I thought, yeah, I so want to have stickers for the journal because anybody who's really into stationery will understand what I'm talking about here. You mightn't though, so I'm going to show you. I use bullet journals a lot, and this is what they are. They've got dotted paper, and they're a note-taking type. They're a diary or a planner, right? But you kind of design the panels and the layout that you want yourself for them. And sometimes they come with this kind of a stencily thing in them for you to make your own kind of bullet points and things, because you just put the stencil down and you pick, whatever colors you want. If you want to have it very colorful like that page there, you can put in all kinds of things. And I like them like that just because being an arty type, um, I'm very visual. So I can find stuff very easily if I put in little scrap bits that remind me of that day or something. And um, I'm going to show you where the idea of the scraps come from, the stickers. This is kind of a modern sticker here, right? Or this, if that's a free sticker I got with brushes I had recently. And um, I'm not a huge collector of these myself, right? But I do like stationery, and I have picked up a few whenever I see particularly gorgeous ones I can't resist. And these this style of sticker here are paper stickers, okay? And what they are, I'll just take a set out to show you. Actually, have them put away just for neatness sake. But what they are just paper things that you come along and you cut them out. But these were like how kids from these are sort of Victorian style scraps, and kids in the Victorian era used to amuse themselves with little scrapbooks and um, uh, buy these special scraps that they stick into scrapbooks. And the thing persisted, and when I was a kid you could still buy this style scraps, and I used to absolutely love them, and every kid of my era used to have scrapbooks. However, it's a very cozy, hoogly thing now for mostly girls, I have to admit. Um, because it is a girl, a flouncy girl kind of thing to do. There is a guy way to do bullet journals as well, but the guys tend to prefer the stencils and things to do them. And to be honest with you, I think guys prefer their notebooks to look very clean and to just do a notebook very fast and take notes fast. And the kind of things you would take notes on would be projects, like I'm taking notes on this project now at the moment, what's in my bullet journal, what I'm going to do next. And you can see that they're all I'm using visuals. But for somebody who's a non-artist, hang on, I have music on, I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to get copy. I have very pastoral music that don't copyright. And I found I was shouting to try and cover the music, which isn't ideal. Is it? So you can You can keep track of appointments and everything, but you can keep track of projects as well. And so you can see how the bullet point idea works. But with these kind of stencils, you can make your own panels and everything very easily, and your bullet points very easily. And that one I had is falling apart now. But normally, sometimes you get a bullet journal with them in it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to buy a stencil. You buy little sets of stencils separately. But for the most part, I think a lot of guys don't want to be messing around with stuff like that. They love taking notes and they love pens and stationery the way I do, but they mightn't like all the prettiness of the scraps and everything. I don't know. Everybody's different. But we girlies, we absolutely adore this. So I'm sorry, guys. I know I have kind of half and half viewers, fellas and girls, according to my stats. But the guys are very indulgent of us girls, I notice. So I don't think you'll mind if I go on about fluffy girly things for a little bit here. Because this is my relaxing thing after a project as well. The mini project turned out to be a lot of work and lovely, enjoyable. But I want to relax doing this as well. So you can see what the bullet journal is used for, and you can see why I'm doing the designing stickies. The stickies are to use with the journal, aren't they? Now, it's not going to come as a pack because the company I'm working with, they ship the things separately. So, if customers were buying it, they would, unfortunately for me, I would have liked to offer it as a pack. They would have to buy the things separately. But these are the things you have to take into consideration when you're marketing your stuff as an artist. Um, but the good news is that the stickers are, I don't think they're going to be wildly expensive, even though um, shipping, usually when they add on shipping, the price of things goes up in a way that's not very appealing to me. You sort of go, oh, because you go online to buy something and um, you're enjoying ordering it, you like the price, and then as an Irish person, you go to order it and they add a huge amount of VAT on when you get to the shipping part of things. So, but I try to keep the prices as low as I can, and I think I can do these at a decent price. So, what they're going to be, right? So we know what a bullet journal does. We know it's good for artists, non-artists, but it's very visual. So you can see how I'm getting a kick out of designing stickers. So you can probably guess from if you've seen the last uploaded video I had, what the stickers are going to be about. They're going to be about this, aren't they? The thing that I was printing, which was a lino cut of cows in a field. And I came up with this idea. I went, okay, that's the cover of the bullet journal, which is available now on my little Etsy shop, linked underneath. Um, but I want to have the stickers matching the journal so that people could have the stickers with the journal if they want to. And, I want the stickers myself. Because I keep bullet journals, don't I? And I want nice personalized stickers. So, what I really want to do is cows and flocks of cows and sheep, little groupings for my stickers, and um, shepherds and shepherdesses. Doesn't that sound like fun? And it's going to be kind of matchy with, whoops, oh no, I'm spilling stuff all over the place. My tea is spilling. But it's going to be matchy with the notebook. And sorry, I just have to mop up things here. It can bring me nowhere. Going to be matchy with the notebook, but you don't have to have it. You just have the notebook. Doesn't mean you have to have it, but you could buy them on their own if you wanted to. You see, so I am thinking when you're designing something, you're thinking, what would the customer like? And you're kind of it's like when you're doing your fine art, right? Because you're thinking, how does the viewer see this? But you're putting on an extra hat, and the designer's hat is an extra hat because it's kind of saying, would anybody want this? Whereas when you're doing a painting or a drawing, I don't think personally, if you're doing fine art, you should be asking yourself that at all. But we're in a different arena here now. We're in a marketing, a product type arena. Now, I'm a bit devious about how I'm doing it because my purpose in marketing my products is more about people seeing more art produced by independent artists than it is about selling a lot of products, if you get me. Because I'm trying to promote, in my small, tiny little way, the idea that small artisans' products are as desirable as big companies' products. And Etsy does that. Etsy is the online company you're selling through, you see, and they're all about, that's their market demographic, if you like, is people who love handmade goods, basically. That's their whole premise, and that's their marketing hook. So they suit me very well. So that's what I'm doing, you see. And I get to do arty things, but I get to do them in a sort of a way that can bring them to the public in a different way. And they might be a public that don't go into art galleries or something, but they might be public who like buying stickers or who like buying, prints and things to hang in the living room or something. So, what I want to just briefly cover is sources of inspiration for design. And this is important to all designers. And I'm going to show you a few sources of inspiration for me. Now, one of the sources is from the last video. So if you saw me, my last video upload or have a quick look at that, you'll see William Blake. William Blake woodcuts turned up in the last two videos. So his little woodcuts that he did for an edition of Virgil poems, I think they were, in the 1800s. Um, they were my inspiration. They're from a little book that I have that's a biography of William Blake. And these beautiful little pastoral woodcuts are in them. So I was so inspired by them that that kicked off that mini project in the first place, you see. And that was one of the items that I got out of the mini project. One of the other items, which I'm waiting uh, on it to dry, is this painting, this oil painting, little mini. This is why I'm calling it a mini project, because they're all little mini scale, which is very cozy and hugely, isn't it? It's just very lovable kind of a scale, I think. And I brought that idea into the bullet journal. The scale of the bullet journal and the shape of it and everything is supposed to be very cozy and hoogly and huggable, because it's something that you hold every day and use every day. And my bullet journal at the moment is a cheap one I got in the supermarket, but I've ordered one of my own bullet journals because I love the idea that I now have a customized bullet journal with an image that I love on it, which is that's only the proof of the print, because I have the clean prints put away safely, but it's got the print on it. And I might do a postcard of the other part of that project at some stage if I can get the correct postcard size for it. I don't know if I can do it with the print companies I'm using at the moment, but there might be a postcard of that as well. That's another way, you see, to collect art. That's how I'm thinking. And when you're designing something, right, if you want to design something, you're always thinking of your customer. What would your customer find um, usable, attractive, or desirable to have? And from yourself, as if you're an ethical business owner, you're also thinking, well, am I giving them good value for it? And am I putting something into the world which the world um, not just which the world wants, but which I want the world to have. You know what I mean? And I do want the world to have more art, and I want the world to have more access to arty things from artists working in a small way, and artisans. So, um, it's self-indulgent as well, but like it's optional. The customer doesn't have to buy it, they don't want it. But that is, you do want to make it attractive. So, I have sort of faith in those things being attractive as products, not because I've done market research, because I don't have the money for that kind of thing, and I'm not a super duper profit driven kind of a person. Um, if I have the product up and I'm happy with the product myself, I'm a happy camper. And if I have people coming to the shop and looking at the stuff, I'm happy with people browsing. I'm not like kind of totally upset if people aren't buying every 3 seconds. But I do have faith in my products that I put up because of the sources that inspire me. So, like, what better source could you get than William Blake, really? And he's not known about enough by enough people these days. So, even his songs of innocence and experience would be absolutely wonderful poems to read for anybody who likes poems, and free to get online. But something else that's free online that I've given you a little prezi of underneath the video is this little book, Winnie the Pooh. And this little book, the Project Gutenberg have put up a version of online. And it's wonderful because it has the original illustrations in it by E.H. Shepard, who was a friend of the Milne family. And I saw a documentary about him, and he went to their house and drew in situ, drew all the beautiful drawings in situ, and all the little animals in it, including Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, were all little stuffed animals that Christopher Robin, the author's son, owned. So the love that went into these things, and the son had a kind of a sad relationship later, I think, with his I don't know if it was with both of his parents, but with his dad, and that was kind of a pity. But the love that went into that book just shines out of it, I think, and it's still one of my best loved books. That and Wind in the Willows are beautiful books, but the illustrations, as a kid, those illustrations blew me away. So when when I was doing this notebook and doing the thinking about designing the stickers, what this whole thing is, um, girls particularly, I've noticed on the internet, there's a big trend for girls with their stationery, and particularly students. A lot of medical students are into this, and a lot of students who are on very demanding courses in college love doing the nice stationery thing, and try to get cozy and hoogly when they're doing their very long study sessions. And all the stationery helps them, you see, having really pretty stationery. So sometimes going back to some of our very cozy memories that we had as kids is a huge way to get inspiration as an adult. And it also is, I mean, I hate to say it from a marketing point of view, it's what makes a customer happy as well. So if you know your customer, if you think of a customer and you think of what they call a persona for a customer, you think up a few of your customers and what their lifestyle might be, who they are, and then you understand the customer better in order to um, tailor your product to them. So that's, if you were a designer, that's what you would be doing. But I'm not really doing that because I'm an artist first. So if I'm happy with the product myself, I am trusting that that's the product I want to put out. And even if something else is more popular on the market, I won't change my mind about the product itself. Um, so, for example, cows and sheep, I might do research and discover in my research, which I could do for free online, that fairies are more popular at the moment than cows and sheep, right? Which I could guess they are probably, but I don't know. You see, until you don't want to make assumptions as the designer, but I could find out, right? And I thought of fairies because I'm thinking about doing some fairy and fuchsia stickers next because I love stickers, you see. Um, and I do have a lot of these dried fuchsia, which I can make stickers out of, and the ability to draw a very nice Victorian style fairy. So fuchsia fairies, look out for them coming up next. That'll be fun to do as well. But I could decide that no, I should really be doing fairies now and not cows at all because cows won't sell very much. But because I am an artist, primarily, I'm going to say, well, no, I want this to be out there as my creation, it's my brand as well, but it is my vision as well. So when I put up a print, I want the print, I want the bullet journal, and I want the stickers going up, and I want maybe a postcard or something as well. And then I have my whole sort of edition, if you like. I'm thinking of the shop as being like a place where print editions go up as well, as well as original artworks. So it's kind of, that's the difference between corporate thinking and a small company thinking, really. And I'm talking like this because we're having a design chat. So get the freebie there if you want. You saw some of the drawings from it, and I have had so much inspiration from this over the years, and um, some clever things have been done with it already. You see, this company have gone with these are what are they called? Egmont, who this is they've copyrighted this, but they have gone with this sticker style thing, but they're not stickers, they're cutouts of Winnie the Pooh stuff, and they you actually build the stuff, but you can't just come along and copy somebody else's stuff. You shouldn't want to as an artist anyway. So I'm doing totally original stuff, but I might be inspired. I might have sources of inspiration from different artists or illustrators. And I do draw a distinction between fine art and illustration. But in somebody like E.H. Shepard, um, a lot of his stuff has huge fine art influences, and his drawing is just amazing. That's quite a beautiful piece of drawing in there. Really wonderfully well drawn. Um, but it's about purposes, what the purposes are for. But with the stickers, right? With the stickers, fine art meets illustration, really, because some of the requirements of the stickers are such that you're not going to produce a piece of fine art, an academic painting or an academic drawing. You're going to produce something which is functional as well as pretty, but you're going to pump up the prettiness of it in a way. You're going to be pushing it in directions that you're not going to push something fine artish. And a lot of people these days don't see the difference. They just don't understand the difference between fine art and graphics or illustration at all. Because we live in a very consumerist world these days. And a lot of people have not really had much experience with academic fine art or traditional fine art or even contemporary fine art um, in gallery settings or anything. They've only seen um, pictures of things in magazines, say, or on media, on YouTube, on TV, on billboards, in shops, in displays in shops. Um, on brand names, on clothing. So you're seeing things in a marketing in a marketing context nearly all the time these days, because huge companies running these things, that's what they want you to do. They want to have you like sheep and get you going particular directions. So, like, in a way, I'm not even trying to create in this thing, I'm not even trying to create a desire in you to buy my stuff online. Um, I'm trying to teach you about different strands, maybe, to design, versus fine art and how the two can work together these days. But you kind of should be aware that there is a little line there that if you cross over it, you may never come back. So don't sell your soul to marketing, please. A lot of stuff I've done has been kind of very anti-marketing. Definitely, I used to have an anti-marketing kind of blog that promoted making and doing your own stuff. And if you're very arty yourself, yeah, I would encourage you to make your own drawings for your own make your own notebooks, hand sew your notebooks if you have the time to do that. Um, so, you don't have to buy anything you don't need, definitely not. But, I put my stuff out there anyway. So this is a design thing I'm putting out there. And any input you want to give me, you're welcome to do so. Just get into comments and say, oh, I like this, that, or the other thing. But the other influence I'm going to show you is, and I have a link to the bigger file of this underneath if you want to see this as well. This is a piece of art that's in um, the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, and it's Jules Bastien-Lepage, who was an amazing artist who died a bit too young. He was sick. I don't know what illness he had, but he seemed to have died very young. But the shepherds and shepherdesses. So this is the kind of artwork I look at all the time, and you can see I love rural stuff. I love nature, and where my ideas percolate from are those kind of sources. So to get good ideas coming out, you have to have good ideas going in, don't you? So if you're sitting around watching glamorous movies about, you know, high technology or something, you're going to be, as an artist, probably some of your output is going to reflect that. But I am sitting around looking at things from kind of a previous century a lot of the time. And um, I like music of earlier centuries as well. And I like anything up to kind of the 50s influences. And then it sort of goes a bit downhill for me in terms of things I'm influenced by. Um, but they're kind of my sources of inspiration and the things that make me feel um, happy, you know. So this is going to be a happy little project for me. And what I'm proposing to do is not just take some of these figures from um, the drawings and prints, but a couple of things that I've done earlier on, and say those say those two isn't a good figure actually for this. Here's the way the stickers work, right? I should explain this to you. Say they're the little, well, just do rough shape. Say I want to do one with two cows, and two isn't a great number. Three is a better number for a sticker, but I kind of like the shape of those. So say there's the edge of the sticker. This is the way they'll print out. So there's the limitations of the medium you're working in, isn't there? Oh, sorry, you can't actually see that. I hope I've had a lot of this in shot. I keep forgetting that I have to move everything over to the left a lot. I'm sorry, this is a bit impromptu. I get all excited about my projects, carried away, and then don't even line up the shot properly. So there's the sticker, right? And there's the two cows in the middle of it. This is what you have to think of, the limitations of the um, medium itself when you're designing the thing. And somebody said to me, I said, "Oh, I want to do these stickers." He said, "Are you going to do it like a from a wood from a lino cut again?" And I said, no, I don't think so, because I don't think I'd be able to, um, being fairly new to lino cut, get it together enough to get the shapes of the cows and sheep perfect in a lino cut. I had to even I had to even hand tint some of the things afterwards. I don't think I'd be able to get them clean enough. Uh, but I might do it that way. I don't know. Um, but there's definitely going to be a lot of drawing before I get to that stage. And what the way it'll work is, say that's one sticker, you might have on a page. I haven't looked up the full specs of it yet. I don't know how many pages of stickers you get in a pack or anything like this. But there are limitations on me in the design, because I am not designing the whole thing myself from start right out to printing stage. It's a kind of a the printers have offered a deal that, look at, we can give you this or this, but you have to work within these limitations. And there are various places online that you can find to get for your printing needs for these kinds of things. I work with two companies at the moment, one called Printful and the other called Gelato. But there are other ones, there's Printify and well, there's loads of them, but I don't know the names of them all because I haven't sussed them all out. And it tends to be that when you need a particular product and one company can't fulfill your needs, you have to go looking for another company. So that's how you end up working with several companies. So say this is the page, the sticker page, we might have a little print here, and it might be like my shepherd with a crook or something like that. So he might be that shape sticker, you see. And then I might have a little group of sheep here. So that size sticker there, right? And then your whole page is covered with different little blobs of stickers organized. And you can fit a certain amount of those within on their template that they give you. You fit them within a particular area, okay, of their template that they give you when you go online. So I don't know how many stickers I'll get on the page. It'll depend on what size I want them to print out at. And uh, the thing with these is, I don't think you have to be highly um, print techie person to be able to design them. But you would have to know the basics of things like DPI, which is dots per inch, because whatever your print input is that you're giving the printer, basically, you're going to have to supply your images in a high enough resolution for them to print them out at the size that you want in the quality that you want. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense to you. So you do have to think about that a little bit when you're designing. And for example, uh, I showed you those two things in a small format, that size, right? So when I'm drawing them, I might decide, well, hang on, I might make those cows a little bit bigger. I might make them that kind of size instead. And that is because um, if you make the thing at the size you want it to print out at, and actually that is a little bit bigger than I'd probably want those cows printed out at, given the size of the journal, you see, because there's a little bit of measuring goes into designing things, yeah, because you could design something beautifully, put it on their little template that they give you, but have no idea how it looks like if you don't take into account the size of the page it's printing out on, yeah. So you could end up with the sticker this big, taking up most of a journal page. And you don't want that. Like that's like your biggest sticker on your sticker page might be that kind of size. So, um, still, when you're designing it, you might want to draw it bigger And then when you get it printed out, you're going to scale that down, and it'll you won't lose resolution. And if you were working with a JPEG, which is a file format, uh, joint photographer's graphic or something that means, uh, that is what you call a lossy format, which just means that think of lossy as loss of quality. So, for example, if decided I'd done that sticker too small and I want to make it bigger, it's going to look all pixelated like this around the curves if I bring it up too much in size. So these are all very design basics things, but you kind of need to know those few things to save yourself from putting in an awful lot of work, and then getting very frustrated, not getting a whole lot out of it at the end. Um, but if you're somebody that's good at looking up things online and you're a little bit, they say to you, for example, the company I'm working with, they want a minimum of 300 DPI, which is dots per inch. Um, which is there's PPI and DPI, and they're not exactly the same thing, but dots per inch just means it has to do with the resolution as well. So it's not a terribly high resolution, I don't think. But you kind of you kind of have to know that you're not going to be giving them like a smaller file. You want to know how to look at the properties of your print file when you have it as a JPEG. And if it's lower than 300 dots per inch, is the best you can get, you go, oh, hang on, that's not going to print out very nicely. And they will give you little pointers. Some of the, depending on what company you use, um, they will give you little pointers about things. I'll keep that page going actually because I'm just doing rough sketching. Um, they look like little rubber duckies at the moment, don't they? So, uh, this is if you're somebody doing any kind of art stuff and you're kind of thinking about getting into uh maybe doing a bit of print, no, I'm not putting any pressure on you, it's just interesting to know about these things. And I thought you would find it interesting seeing somebody doing the process. So the first stage of these is figuring out how many different designs I want on the page, and I might have like say, you know, 6 or 7 different things on the page, right? I'm not quite sure how many will fit in at what size on that template yet. There'll be a lot of messing around using their template, trying to see what fits and everything, and how it looks as a page is very important as well. It has to look very attractive as a page because that's what you're selling it off, how that page looks, as well as each individual sticker. The other thing that has to happen, right, is that the functionality of the thing is terribly important, as well as the style, pretty, and cozy, and the function. Well, what is the function? The function is for eye catching on a page and marking things, right? So you want various sizes. That's what I want anyway. As a customer that uses bullet um, journals myself, that's what I want from bullet journal because for each thing, for example, you see this. Imagine that was a stick-on thing instead of something I just drew. That's a little tiny peel-off sticky thing that is a one bullet point job. So I might have some that small. That's kind of the smallest I would want to go because they're too messy to peel off otherwise, right? And then I might want something that kind of scale for bigger. So that would be bullet points. size. That would be sections, right? So typically in your bullet journal, here's how it works. Somebody might have a panel, and then they might have bullet points inside that panel, and then they might have something marking the section, like, this week or something, and, items to do. So that's like the functionality of the thing, right? Function. And you see this rough sketching I'm doing, this is the thinking out design phase, thinking about the usage of the thing and the desirability of the thing, to the two elements. So I want it really, really pretty. Um, and more so than, and I'm thinking more so about this than I did when I was doing the fine art end of things. So I'm gonna do them in a very pretty illustration style. I'm gonna amp up the cuteness, and I'm gonna have to decide. I have done a bit of internal, thinking about it anyway. That just happened spontaneously about what I wanted, because I'm so keen on it as a project. You see, I know I want sheep, cows, and shepherds and shepherdesses. And sorry, folks, but I don't want any sheepdogs. Reason being that I'm a jogger and they are my natural enemy and I'm terrified of them. So I want to have a nice, hoopy project, and I don't want to have any sheepdog upsetting me during it. And in fact, Blake had a very upsetting woodcut in his series that I was partially inspired by, and it was a shepherd chasing off a wolf, and the wolf had killed one of the sheep already. So to me, sheepdogs are cozy, hoodly things to some people, but to me, sheepdogs represent ravening beasts that want to eat me and terrify me before they do so. So no dogs, no cats either, unfortunately. So I would love to do stickers of cats. These are all the types of stickers I'd love myself. I want to start a sticker collection of stickers I made myself, because they're very necessary to my needs. But I feel there are all these other women out there, and possibly some guys too, who have some of the same needs. There might be guys out there who need to have stickers of shepherds or shepherdesses, I don't know, or sheep even. So yeah, this is the thinking out. So sections, bullet points, and maybe some headings. You see, you could have headings, but I don't want to mess up the look of it, right? This is where I don't want to have things like headings saying this week or to do or anything. I don't want any of that happening. I want it to look very pastoral, okay? Not as in a priest and his flock, but in the sense of the countryside and everything about. Okay, they are working very hard, shepherds, but um, to us, in from our modern perspective, it's very relaxing thinking about shepherds and sheep and flocks and things like that, and cows and everything. It implies relaxation to us because we don't actually do any work as shepherds. But I know certain things that I want to have in it, and I want to have some people in it, and the people would be the size of this section style bullet and bullet points. But I will have one banner, one I think as well, and that is the name of the series, really, because it's the painting um, and the prints, which was a series of 5, and the drawing. I called all of them Thinking of Summer. So that is going to be my banner. And I have the font picked out for that as well, because I've designed I've designed the bullet journal, say, already. So has to match. And that's another little design thing if you haven't designed before. Little mini rules that aren't really rules, but that you don't throw too many different fonts styles at it either. So pick your fonts out carefully, get fonts that you like, and don't have too many going on. And obviously pick something that suits the style of the images and everything. And I'm happy that the font that I have suits the style of the images very well. I don't think I've designed to design any kind of packaging for it. I think these might be presented in some sort of a kind of a cellophane or bag of some sort, with no labeling on them, unless my shop label goes on them. I don't know. I haven't, as I say, I haven't totally sussed out that template page. I have to actually do example designs before I can get far enough to suss it out. um, So I suppose another design concern, if I was somebody very money orientated, I might say, okay, well, how much time am I putting into this? Will it be worth it for a monetary reward? I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to have a nice product that, to me, looks beautiful and arty and everything. Because when you think about it, right, um, this is a product, that's a product, and their products, but they were things that as a kid I thought were beautiful and arty as well. So that's the vibe. That's the vibe I want. Beautiful arty things like I had when I was a kid. So a little bit font stuff going on, and I know what I want for my stickers. Shepherds and shepherdesses, and sheep, cows, and extra things are going to be trees. There's going to be trees. There's going to be those shepherds. I have a few ideas that I don't want to lose track of. So this kind of first design sheet here is my brainstorming sheet. Okay, so brainstorming is a phase, a design phase. So this is my brainstorming sheet. This is in case I forget something, you see. So this idea here of shepherds on a break, I want to have that in it. And you see this, even this, I could be doing this in my bullet journal, if I wanted to, but I don't want my bullet journal to end up like it's going to be a shepherd and a shepherdess having their lunch. And I'm even getting inspiration at the moment from um from the neighbours, because one of the neighbours cut their grass, and he has lovely little mini haystacks all over the garden at the moment that look so pretty. There's all these little piles of haystacks around the garden. So that was wonderful inspiration. They all had starlings going around on them. You see, so that kind of a thing, you know. What would happen for each of these little images, right, is that I would draw it again and again. So these two guys, I keep sketching them, right? And then when I get a sketch that is stylized in the way that I like, which is going to be something that matches this style a bit, um, I'm going to draw it a bit bigger so that when I then scan it, I can scan it at a really high quality and come out with a good quality JPEG file. So, which I will need in order to use there. template, and then you arrange all your different elements. So, there is a bit of work in it because each element has to be scanned in, or, you're probably not gonna do them all on one sheet, but you could do them and then cut them out and put them in the sheet, and then just, but you might have to still get rid of lines. And I want to avoid the use of Photoshop if I can. I don't have Photoshop. I have another one called GIMP for photo editing, but I don't want to sit there using that. I want to be able to do as much of it as I can on the online template because it's much faster. And I don't enjoy that technical end of things at all. The other thing I want to show you is of sources of inspiration that are my own work. So something like this, painting like um, this would make a lovely little sticker done in the right style, a little family grouping of sheep and just a little suggestion of a tree. So you see how when I said I wanted to have trees in it, that how the trees would get worked in because I want to integrate things about nature in it as well. And in fact, in this painting, I did try to put in a shepherd. Let me just see him there. Didn't work out terribly well at the time. I've loads of paintings that I say to myself, yeah, paint a bit better now. I could go back to that and the bits that I'm better at painting now fix. But I don't get back to everything. But I do like the way those sheep turned out. And then you see, I did think about this. I thought, well, I could do little groupings of lovely wild flowers and things like that and plants. And I thought, I don't know. I don't want to go too much off the theme because I am thinking, and this is how you think as a designer, I am thinking of the finished layout. I don't want the finished layout to look like, see the way this bullet page here is very busy. I don't want my finished sticker page to look very, very busy with all kinds of things happening on it. I want you to understand the theme the minute that you look at that page. Okay, so um, my theme is cows and sheep, shepherds and shepherdesses, isn't it? And the thinking of summer banner is aimed towards you understanding that theme. So I know that on my sticker page, that's going to be prominently displayed, whether it gets displayed just, in the middle, um, up the side, or on the top. Um, that'll be something that I think that in the shuffling things around at the template stage will happen because the template for this particular company anyway that I'm working with, the way the template works is that for each item, um, you have each item as a separate file, and then you can shuffle the things around in the template whatever way you want yourself. So that's great for me because I don't have to have everything perfect first. I don't have to draw everything out the same page and have it all perfect in one go. And I don't have to have that all set up in something like Photoshop or some good photo editing suite either. I can do it in a drag and drop kind of way in there. It's, those companies, they try and make it as easy for you as possible. And the advantage of them over doing things the traditional print way and finding your own printer and maybe even trying to, you say, well, okay, that's a bit dear, or they don't have exactly what I want, or whatever the cons are for you about it in your list of pros and cons. um if you went off to a traditional printers yourself, you would be find yourself in a world of pain because you have to be a professional really to be good on the print end of things, and printers do not fix your mistakes for you. They won't tell you if you're going wrong. in something, and print runs can be really expensive. And sometimes, in fact, most of the time, you have to do very large print runs. Whereas with some of these companies, like the one I'm working with on these stickers with, um, the print run is only on demand, which is great because it's very, it's kind of more eco-friendly, isn't it? Because you're putting less poo that nobody wants into the world. You're not going to like create, 1,000 sheets of stickers and then maybe only 10 sheets sell, and you know you got all the rest of them hanging around until they end up in skip someday when you kick the bucket. You don't have to order this and you don't have to store all the stuff yourself. So they're great for designers. So, okay, I didn't get very much design done, but I did get a really good chat to you about design and why, as an artist, you have to be aware of some of these things because this is the world we live in. That sometimes your stuff is, you have to think about, have I anything in my stuff that is product friendly? And some artists don't. Some just produce paintings, fine art, and maybe postcards, sometimes postcards to go with the exhibitions and things like that, or publicity. And so, like, some people don't want to get into this end of things at all, but a lot of people increasingly are offering prints and things of their work as well. So it is a whole area. And it's an area that you kind of have to familiarize yourself with unless you have an agent. So you would be kind of at the more fortunate top end of the art market anyway, probably, and doing quite well for yourself financially if you're somebody that has an agent doing all this for you, or you're you're just you have an agent because some gallery out there represents you and loves your work. But if you're representing yourself, and loads of artists are, it's good to get a little bit of knowledge about some of these things, because if there does come a time when you want to produce something, to design something yourself, there's no harm to have a little bit of knowledge. You don't have to learn it all from scratch all over again. So just to be aware of it and be aware of where your influences are coming from as well. So I'm going to work away on that. Anybody has any ideas underneath, or um, you know anything that they want to ask about design. I'm not a designer. I've done little bits of design, but I am definitely not a designer because there's far too much measuring distances involved in it for my liking, and I'm very dyslexic when it comes to counting or numbers. But I hope you found that interesting. And I'm gonna I'm gonna leave it at that for today. Actually, I'm go out and sit in the sunshine and get in touch with nature, and come back to it then, do a little bit tomorrow. But I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, bye bye. See you on Friday, I guess, over on the live tab.